Where's your delay? You weren't here. Okay, I'm not gonna give you another one if you weren't here. You weren't here either?
No, not till my
Okay, you just gonna have to write it down on something else. Alright. So somebody tell me general form of, or general standard form of an equation. AX plus BY equals C, and we've already talked about what's most important there is that A and B are what? Same side of the equation. If I wanted to go from standard form to slope intercept, what would I need to do? Isolate Y, and we talked about yesterday how we could graph equations written in slope intercept form. Somebody tell me that brief process real quick. If I have an equation in slope intercept form, how do I graph that? Well, let's do it this way. Somebody give me an example of an equation in slope intercept form.
1/4 x plus 5.
X. Is that an equation in slope intercept form?
No.
No, because it's not a what?
We need to.
Not an equation. How we fix this?
Y equals.
In this situation, what does Y represent?
The whole thing.
What is this, ultimately?
The Y path.
This is a function. For a function, what do Y's represent? Output. So, is there only going to be one output value? No. Did it tell us one specific domain? No. So how many output values we're going to have? An infinite number. What does 1/4 represent here? The slope, or we could call that rate of change. I heard someone say. What does X represent? Input. Are we only going to have one of those? No, because Simon didn't specify what did he want to use as input value. So ultimately, how many of those are we going to have? Infinite number. And then what does this 5 represent? It is a constant, specifically y-intercept, which somebody tell me what is the y-intercept, Melinda?
It's where it crosses the y-axis.
Very good. How do I know this is going to make a straight line? X doesn't have an exponent. Mr. Reed, tell me where to start.
Start at 5. Go up 1
Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that's not pretty, but whatever. Now what? Connor, tell me what to do next.
For every one that you go over 4.
Okay. So I'm going to go up 1 and over 4. Which way, left or right?
Right.
What if I wanted to go in the other direction? Down 1 and? What if I have a little momentary brain fart and I felt like I needed to go down and then right? How do I know that's wrong? It's not a straight line, and it's supposed to be because it's a what kind of function? Linear function. Ultimately, it should make a straight line. How do I know I need to connect it and draw arrows?
You're not given a specific number.
And for that reason, we're going to assume that it's what? All real numbers meaning? Continuous. Very good. Alright, so that's pretty much a recap of everything we've done so far. Now we're going to talk about how do I just take an equation in standard form and graph it, because some of us find that annoying to have to rearrange it in slope-intercept form, and aside from that, I mean, how many of you messed up on at least one yesterday, changing it from standard to slope-intercept? Sometimes it happens, and that's okay. Mistakes are okay, but if you get the equation wrong, then you're certainly not going to get the graph right because the equation's wrong. So we're going to talk about how do I take an equation in standard form and graph it. All right. First of all, up at the top, you should see, if you haven't written that, AX plus BY equals C. Hopefully everybody's written that by this point. Let me get down to my little cheat notes. All right, method 1. Actually, I don't like this. Can we do 3 methods?
That's the
Yes. We're gonna do methods. Method 1. Convert to slope intercept form, which we did yesterday, basically.
Do we need to show the work you just completed?
What do you mean?
Like, do we need to show the work we converted?
Wait, where did
Yes.
you write it?
Method 1.
What did you say?
Sorry, alright. Method 1, convert to slope intercept form. And what does that basically mean?
Isolate the Y.
Isolate Y. And what is general slope intercept form? Let's go ahead and write that in there. Whoa, that's
What?
Y equals,
MX was we.
good. So somebody kind of talk me through that process. If we've got an equation in standard form, which is AX plus BY equals C, what would be the first step if we're gonna convert to slope intercept form?
Subtract A.
We need to get rid of that AX. What are we gonna do to get rid of that? Subtract it if it's positive, and then what? Okay, so how would you summarize that step?
If it's positive,
Get rid of.
Get rid of inverse operation.
Yes,
operation.
use inverse operations to move which term? What term are we moving, Wes? Huh? Is it just X there? AX, very good. Use inverse operations to move AX.
what X?
Then what will we do?
Use inverse operations to move B.
Use inverse operations to move B. First of all, what would the inverse operations be for step 1?
Subtraction or addition.
So I'm gonna just write subtraction slash addition right here. Use inverse operations to move what? We're moving BY, just B. What are some possible operations there?
Division.
Division or? Depending on what?
What it's doing.
What's being done, right? So if we see, for instance, if we saw, 2x plus y over 4 equals 12. In that situation, we'd move the 2x obviously, but we wouldn't end up dividing, we would end up what? Multiplying, which we don't do a whole lot of, but it does happen. Alright, so, now what? Does that leave it in slope intercept form after that step? You would simplify, yes, so if you wanna make that a step, go for it. And what do you mean by simplify? Somebody clarify a little bit.
If you
Right, because whenever you get rid of that b, you're gonna either divide or multiply. And so if you're gonna divide, you wanna make sure you divide everything on the other side by that number. Or if you're gonna multiply, you wanna make sure you distribute by every number on the other side. Very good. Number 4. At that point, how do we graph an equation in slope intercept form?
M equals.
Start where? At the y-intercept, very good. What tells you how to move? Use the what?